Hey there, welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name's Richard, still sitting here with no pants and hopefully making profits. And you may be watching this on the Results Not Typical channel. And I want to give you a little bit of an update via their update themselves on Starstake and why Starstake is going to be delayed again. What is Starstake? What has Starstake become? Starstake has become an MLM generating machine, multi-level marketing generating machine, which is going to have to issue tax forms for people that make more than $600 a year because it's no longer an investment, it's now a job. So congratulations if you've invested in Starstake, Energy, Builder Coin, Energy Go, Dildo Dudes, Mission Series 1 NFTs, anything like that. You now have a job that you're going to have to pay taxes on. It's no longer an investment. Chris is going to tell you a bit later on in this video that that's thanks to me. But let's go ahead. Let's look at Chris's update. Now, this was not published publicly on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere like that. This is published on their private social network, which I do have access to, because guess what? I know this is weird. I am actually an investor. Very, very, very tiny investor, but an investor nonetheless. So let's go ahead and let us jump right in to Chris Hawk Jones, or also known as Chris Richard Jones. There's no Hawk in there in his legal name. We'll talk about everybody's legal name in a minute. Update on Starstake. So let's take a look. This was shot. This came in late in the evening of March 30th, 2023. I'm shooting this March 31st, releasing this March 31st. And they originally set a deadline. Hold on, I gotta get big for that. Deadline of April 1st to have things up and running. Then I went to April 15th, and trust me, that's going back from December 2021, which is still the copyright down on the website. So what you're going to hear is 25 minutes of excuses from Chris Richard Jones, which weird that his name and my name match up, from Chris Richard Jones about why Starstake's still not quite yet ready, because people are asking and got to come up with some bullshit answers. So here we go.
Hawk with Star. Hey everybody, it's Chris Hawk with Starstake. Just want to do a video.
And just in full disclosure, this is fair use. I'm showing this video and I'm commentating on it, so good luck having it taken down.
Update, talk to you for a little bit here. Nothing formal, nothing fancy. Just wanted to give you some insight on what's happening, all the cool stuff, man. I could rant and just go on and on and on about all the amazing things.
Nothing formal, nothing fancy, but has a music background track to it. I didn't add this music background track, just beware.
And challenges and problems that we've run into and things we've overcome. It's an amazing story. Gosh, I can't wait to tell this later.
In court. I can't wait for you to tell this later. In court, in the court of law, because you defrauded all of your investors. And you can say till you're blue in the face, you can literally say to people, no investor money was here. It was all Alan Friedland's money, which we'll get to in a minute, but let's continue on.
But I just want to give you some updates too, because it's funny how this happens. It's always like I want to do these videos, and then by the time I end up doing them,
because you get forced to it, because your community gets to a boil, and they say, oh, it's a scam, it's never coming out. So you have to do this to quiet people down. Well, I'm making this video to louden them up again and let them ask questions.
There's so many things to talk about and so many cool things I want to express that it's so hard to pack it into a video. So I'll do my best to keep this short, but I just wanted to be enthusiastic. I can tell you that we are in the best place we've been yet, and I mean that sincerely. I know in the past we haven't hit.
Yeah, I know in the past we haven't hit any of our timelines, but we're in the best place ever.
Timelines, and there's been, you know, things that got delayed and whatever. Look, it's technology. This stuff happens. If you've ever built technology, you know.
I have built technology, and I know the first thing you built was highly illegal. And this thing is a little bit more compliant, thanks to my help. You'll see later on. People like these nasty YouTubers, tell you that what you're doing is illegal because you trust your boss, Alan Friedland, to say that it's perfectly legal, and it's not. But don't worry, the sins of your past cannot be absolved by going clean in the future, even though I don't think they're going clean, but the sins of your past cannot be absolved in the future.
This is normal. I've never built technology and had a community like this and anticipation quite like this, so it's a little bit different. It's important to set the right expectations. I know you all want this, those of you watching, you want something that's great and beautiful and that works and that
has stars on it, but that's a little further down the line.
Revolutionary and evolutionary and just changes the game. I know you all want this, and I want to give you that, and I want to provide the world with something special, even just a little bit. Look, we don't have to win everything or everybody over. We just have to win a
especially me. No pants.
Little bit for this to make an impact. And so, as I always have said, there's these three design philosophies that we stick to, and that is creating something that's accessible to everybody, that's usable in the real world, and that's better, faster, easier to use than anything that they're using today. And we really hold ourselves to that. So when we're building
But the question is it legal? That's the question.
this thing, if something doesn't stick to that, if something doesn't fall into that or falls outside, we have to go back to the drawing board again and say, hey, this is great, but it's really not usable. People in the world that they live in now, the things that they're currently doing, it would be an inconvenience to even use this technology, right? It's really important to understand that. And so sometimes in technology, we get so excited, we're like, oh, would I really use it? Is it going to be easier, faster, or better than what I'm...
This is what they're doing. They're building an MLM making machine. You can make your own MLMs inside of Starstake. There are no stars coming on board. It is an MLM generation machine, or a multi-level marketing, or as you'd rather know it, a pyramid scheme generation machine built inside of a pyramid scheme. I've talked about this before, but I want to give you this update as of March 30th of 2023.
currently doing. Is it going to be an inconvenience? Can anybody get to it, use it, or is it just for a specific type of person that has a certain amount of knowledge or technical skill or whatever? And so we wanted to take all of that and make sure that we always fall in there. And so in the process, you've known we've changed things a bit here, quite.
We've changed things a bit here, but we've still sold our investors on our original idea, and we said they're going to make 5% of all the money that the project makes. Well, here's the problem. Now the project's not making as much money because people are getting in for free, and they changed everything. And I think the important thing is it's no longer DeFi. This is the first project under Energy. And you can say this is a company, a separate company, all you want, but this company's using DeFi to say that they're connecting creators with their fans via crypto. All the defenses go away when it's no longer DeFi. There's someone actually directing what's going on here, and that's important to understand.
Actually, a lot, and it's crazy and it's amazing. I'm so proud of where we've come now, because if I were to dream up a scenario, okay, what we had before back in December, great.
December of what year? Because you were supposed to launch in December of 2021, and then Alan Friedland had some legal issues in early 2022, so he had to get Chris Hawk on board and hide behind. I will make sure that every brand and every star that signs up for Starstake will know that Alan Friedland is the actual financer here, who has settled with the CFTC and said he would not be doing anything like this again in the future. That's the truth here. You don't say in December, yeah. You promised it to launch in December 2022. You promised it to launch in November 2022. You promised it to launch in May of 2022 with 250 stars with up to 50 million subscribers each. Then Alan Friedland himself, well, that was Alan promising in May of 2022, promised that it would launch in December of 2021. This is just another scheme and extending it. If you're an investor, hold these people balls to the fire. You paid for this. You bought the Mission Series 1 NFT. You bought Energy. You bought Energy Go. This was promised to you. Don't believe their bullshit that none of this was paid for by you, because guess what? It was. And if they say none of it's paid for by you, ask for the receipts. Ask where your money is. Ask where your money is that you put into the crypto. Ask where your $700,000 that you put into Mission Series 1 NFTs are. They've sold the same scam over and over and over and over to different people. And they're never going to pay out because this is never going to succeed. But I digress. Let's continue.
Amazing. What we have now, dream scenario, dream life. Okay, this is a situation that you only dream of building, because the fact that now we've built...
The music is just class. A little impromptu video has a soundtrack to it. Come on, guys.
An entire fan engine. And I'll go through a few of the things. Some of you know this, but we have these brand clubs, these Starstake NFTs, and the brand clubs are these ways of, is kind of our core thing, is just about how do you build customers or fans for life? How do you build fan loyalty to where nobody can bid on them, get access to them, control you. And
but you're still trying to control it inside the platform. You say that you're better than Facebook, you're better than YouTube, you're better than all of those, but you still have a platform that you're taking money from. So you can shit on them all you want, but you're taking money from a platform. So you're no better than them.
how can you do some amazing things to just give to the people that matter most, your most valuable players, your most valuable fans, those super fans or whatever. And so how do you build that? And that's why we had to go to the drawing board and build the fan engine. And the fan engine is the brain. It's the...
You had to build the fan engine because the SEC came down on Sam Bankman-Fried, came down on a lot of other people in the crypto world for selling securities. They're trying to say this is not a security going forward. You know what? If they're going to do it like they say, I agree. It's now a job. The problem is that does not absolve you of your security crimes in the past, which have been well documented. I have copies of it, and anybody who writes me, nopantsprofits@gmail.com, Richard at nopantsprofits.com, I'm happy to send you everything, all the promises, all the false promises, all of everything like that. So, yeah, you might be going clean going forward, but you weren't clean in the past, and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Supercomputer behind this whole thing. It's the flux capacitor that makes this thing possible.
Registered trademark, Back to the Future. Don't say flux capacitor. They have used a lot of registered trademarks in their advertising, marketing, and branding. And, you know, they say that if they draw a picture of something, it's not really that thing, but... yeah, it is. You just said flux capacitor, which is a registered trademark of probably Bob Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg, who own the rights to Back to the Future in Universal Pictures. So don't call it that because it's not a flux capacitor. It's an MLM generating machine.
Okay, without it, none of it works because you'll never know who your valuable players are, and those valuable players will never feel like they're valuable. They'll never know what they're contributing. And you guys, some of the most incredible things in the world, some of the most incredible thing you can do in life, just about, is feel useful, right?
Aww, this is running like a cult. You're getting a speech from a cult leader, even though he's not the leader. You've got Alan Friedland, who's really the cult leader here. We're not even going to mention people on the energy side, because this ain't about energy anymore. This is about Starstake. Alan Friedland is this guy's boss, and he's going to say Alan later. And then there's people that work for him, like Maria Martinelli, Tariq Ikuamali, and Cap, Christopher Kapinski, who they call Cap. But let's go on.
Usefulness leads to happiness. You ever get that? You ever go and you help your wife with the dishes and you see the smile on her face and you just feel useful, or you help your neighbor shovel their driveway or whatever, and you just feel useful, even just that little bit, or at work perhaps, and you get a project done and you have that feeling of accomplishment and usefulness, and you're recognized for that, and how that makes you feel.
This has nothing to do with the actual project. This is MLM cult bullshit that's being spurred out to try and tell people that, we promised you'd have a passive investment. We can't do that anymore, so now you have to work for the investment. That's what this is. This is conditioning the people. This is not public. This is people already in the scheme, scam, whatever you want to call it, and they're conditioning them. If one person breaks through on this video, then I've done my job. You're being lied to, you're being manipulated, you're being conditioned to understand that you're no longer going to have passive income, which is what they promised you. They sold you a security, an asset-backed security that had passive income. Well, too bad that's gone now.
A lot of times in a world and an economy that's tough and it's hard, it's these little pieces of usefulness that create happiness. So what does Starstake sell? Well, Starstake really just sells happiness. That's what we want.
Starstake sells happiness. No, Starstake is an MLM generating machine where you can make multi-level marketing networks inside of multi-level marketing networks inside of multi-level marketing networks. And if you were just honest and you said that's what it was, I'd have no problem. But you're bullshitting people and you're lying to them. You're making an MLM in an MLM in an MLM in an MLM, and that's what this is.
To do is create a mechanism, a platform for fans, meaning all of us, me, you, everybody. We're all fans of something, right? But to feel useful in some way to that thing we care about, to the brand or the person, to the product, to the platform, to whatever. that little bit of usefulness, and for me as a fan to get recognized, to get
Now remember, originally it was stars. Now we're expanding out. Why? Because we don't have any stars, but other than Michelle Belmonte, also known as Shang, who's Chris's wife, who's really the biggest star they have.
rewarded perhaps, and to be able to have a play in the big game. And if we can achieve that, we all win beyond our wildest imagination. Is it going to be easy? No, but this was necessary, and this is why we built the fan engine. And the fan engine is something that, like, we're literally in the process of filing the patents for it. It's so
Yeah, and that's going to be another few months. Remember, you got to keep the Ponzi going. So that's going to be another few months. Then once we get it, we're going to have to get people on board. We're going to have to do this, that, your brother, the other thing, other thing, other thing, other thing, other thing. It's all an excuse, but let's continue on.
complex and difficult, but it is so critical to this, because now as a creator, you can come onto Starstake, create your brand clubs. Those brand clubs are driven by the fan engine, which allows you to then see who your most valuable players are. And the one thing that we changed back in December when we had
Back in December, the one thing that we changed, well, we changed it. It's no longer an investment. Now it's a job. But let's see if he's clear that the one thing they changed is that it's no longer an investment. Remember, they sold it to all y'all that are watching this in StarHub, because you're energy investors or Starstake NFT investors, that it was a passive investment that you just get money on, sit on your hands, make money. But no, something's changed. What's changed?
the SNFTs, and we said, okay, if we're going to do this, to make sure that we're never a security, we're never doing anything that
At the advice of this guy named No Pants Profits.
isn't per regulation or per the law or per just all the guidelines that we've had from lawyers and from technicians and architects, we had to stay within a certain realm. And so part of this was these SNFTs can't be written. Smart contracts, meaning the rules of an NFT or a brand club, can't be written at the time of mint, meaning that's locked in stone. So if you
Perfect. So rules cannot be written at the time you make your crypto contract. Well, that's the idea of a crypto contract. It's decentralized. People can't change it. These mother fudgers are admitting that they're making this so the rules can be changed at any time. I do want to back up a little bit because I want you to hear that. They are literally admitting that the problem is that they needed to make it so the rules can be changed at any time. If you're an investor in energy, you're an investor in Energy Go, you're an investor in any of this crap, the rules have changed over and over and over. So listen to this one more time.
time of mint, meaning that's locked in stone. So if you have a reward program and you lock that in when you create it, it's there forever. And in business, you can't really run like that, right?
Well, that's how they ran their crypto scam up till now. That's exactly how they ran it up till now. And then they have no liquidity in one scam. They got no liquidity in another scam. They're going to move people to another scam. The only thing they ever locked was energy, NRGY, on Ethereum. And that's why they had to get people the hell off of that, because they keep changing the rules and changing the rules and changing the rules. So they're admitting the one thing they've done is they've made it now that they can change the rules whenever the hell they want.
So if you're running an advertisement for a business, you split test. You don't know what headline works or what web page works or what product or price or...
He's 100% right. I work in business. I work in tech. Chris is 100% right. You know, he's trying to clean up Alan's shit. Chris, you think we're on the wrong side. We're on opposite sides here. I know you're hired to be a stand in and clean up Alan's shit. Because Alan took a steaming pile of shit all over this entire project, and you're hired to say, oh, let's make this legitimate. And you believed Alan. You really did. To a point, until this guy with no pants came and said, it's a security. Then you went out and got your own law firm. How do I know this? Because you've admitted this to me, that you went out, you believed Alan, you changed everything because of me. You're going to thank me later in this video. Sorry, I watched the video forward a little bit. You're going to thank me a little bit later in this video because you've got to clean up Alan Friedland's shit, because this whole thing went to shit when he get charged or settled with the CFTC.
Any of these things. So now we remove that. So now you have these SNFT brand clubs, and then you have incentivized promotions that are separate. So as a creator, I can say, hey, for this month, I'm going to give 50% sales rewards to all my fans, meaning 50% of the sales I'm going to give away, right? And so you could run that promotion for a month and see what kind of progress it creates and actually be able to see, okay, I started with this many connected fans and now there's this many active and true and super fans, meaning you know what those levels are, those ranks, because we assign attributes to them. So based on our fan score engine, and that allows you to track this. So we have the service score, meaning how much people contribute to you, what they do to help you, your customer score, meaning how much they spend, the ownership score of what they own. Do they own all of something, a little bit of something? And then your loyalty score, which is
a job and a security. So now you're dealing in securities and you're dealing in making people 1099 contractors, which if they make more than $600 a year, you have to issue a tax form. So I'd highly recommend, I mean, I don't think it's going to be successful, but I'd highly recommend upfront before you open this, be getting an employer identification number and collecting everyone's social security number, because that is important.
Really cool algorithm that helps measure a balanced loyalty. And so that determines how rewards are earned to your, obviously giving more to your heaviest players. And you can set parameters. Maybe you want to do a promotion to just your super fans or to just a certain status of a fan. And you can do all of that with the fan engine. It's really, really cool. And it's simple and it's easy to use. And as a fan, it's exciting because you get these wins and these wins and these wins, and it gets you to...
Yep, and if you get wins, you'll continue on with the Ponzi scheme. You'll continue on with the pyramid scheme. You'll continue on with the MLM.
Do what? Support more. Be a bigger fan. Be a better fan. And be eventually maybe a super fan.
Grow up that pyramid. That's what he's trying to say. You know, you're going to start as a normal fan. Then you get some fans under you. You get some stuff, and you get fans under you, fans under you. So it's an MLM. MLMer's going to MLM. Pyramid schemers going to pyramid scheme. That's their background.
Okay. And so it really allows this deep connection. So that was a huge, huge thing that we've done. It's almost done.
Almost done. Remember, we were promised early April. Well, I mean, investors were promised December of 2021, then promised May of 2022, promised November. I'm missing some dates in here. Promised November of 2022, December of 2022, January of 2023, February of 2023, March of 2023. Now we're looking at April of 2023. This is going to come out on the last day of March, but I guarantee you this is nowhere near ready to go, because all this is an excuse, a palooza here.
So proud of it, so excited. It is game-changing beyond anything I've ever seen. But then we had to back up and say, okay, how do we get the world into Starstake? Right? Like, if you think about everybody's...
How do we get everyone into an MLM? Good question there, Chris. I like it.
Talking NFTs and wallets and DeFi and
well, no one is talking that anymore because crypto has been found out as what it is. I am a believer in Bitcoin, and why I do this, and I tell people this, why I do this is because if shit coins like this take money from people, which is all this has done, any of this has done, is stolen money from people, then actual cryptos like Bitcoin, which I believe is the only crypto, I like Doge too, are never going to succeed if shitty things like this keep taking money from people.
And blockchain, and then I'm thinking over here, I've got my neighbor who doesn't even know what a blockchain is, let alone a chain, period. And then,
yeah, his neighbor doesn't know what a chain is. Fuck is this guy talking about?
And he's like, what's an NFT? Has no idea what that is. And then I have to somehow get him to this, even though he's a fan of maybe some skill saw or something that he bought at the hardware store. Like, think about this. Like, how do we get these people, average, regular 99% of the people, from Web 2 into Web 3? And you can't do it just by creating a series of transactions. Right? Loyalty does not come from a series of transactions or social posts. It comes from something that makes you feel special as a fan. And how do we deliver that? And so how do we...
Gonna make you feel special. It's a cult. They're creating, well, they've already created a cult. The people that are listening to this are already in a cult. And they're trying to make another cult. This is just a cult. Do I have to say the word cult more? Can I say cult a few more times? Maybe religion. Religious cult. Religious cult of the stars and the stakes. That's what this is.
Get millions of people, and that's why Star Connect came about. Now creators can come on and they can build their own Star Connect NFT for free. It's like your trading card. It's like your baseball card or Pokemon card with your face on it. And the cool thing is it's free. It costs nothing to mint. The consumer, the fan, pays nothing. They just get...
Well, and now you're hosing all of your original investors who were supposed to get 5% of the money that people were coming in with. You notice that? If you're saying, hey, look, I bought a Mission Series 1 NFT, or I bought what's the name of that? Energy, or I bought Energy Go, or I bought Builder Coin, or I built all this other crap. Well, now no, it's not costing anything to get in. Yeah, they think they're going to make money in the long run, but that's a big promise. You were promised 5% up front, and guess what? You ain't getting that now.
This cool thing that they don't even know what it is. Like, it's the first NFT probably they'll ever get, and they don't even know what it is. But all of a sudden, that gave them a little bit of value. It was kind of cool because it had the person or the thing that they care about on it, and all of a sudden it unlocked something for them. So it has a token gate functionality to it. So it's like, oh, cool, I got this download, I got some extra cool stuff, right? And then it just leads into like, hey, by the way, Bob, check out my brand club where we're going to do promotions and we're going to do giveaways, and we have a free saw we're going to give you, or a screwdriver, or whatever it is.
There are big assumptions being made here. Number one, that any brand is even going to be on here, and number two, that Bob gives a shit, because Bob doesn't give a shit. Especially once these brands figure out that Alan Friedland's behind this. Trust me. Google the guy. You don't want anything to do with him with a 10-foot pole. And I'm going to make sure any brand that shows up on Starstake is going to know that Alan Friedland's the main financier behind all this. Because I think that's important to know who you're dealing with. So, yeah, I'm going to be here till the very end. And, you know, if I were to keel over mysteriously, I'm sure there's many other people who would love to make it be known who's really behind here.
They can speak the language of the fan, but in the process, they never even know anything that's Web3. It just looks and feels like everything they'd already done.
Right. So you're hiding what this really is. Because, you know, you say this is Web3, and that's why you can do this, and da-da-da-da-da. It's an MLM platform. You're hiding an MLM platform, a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, Ponzi scheme platform in plain sight. I think it's friggin' brilliant, to be honest with you. I'm giving you credit that you built a DIY MLM platform. Well, you haven't launched it yet, so I mean, have you really built it? You built it in your head, a DIY MLM platform, but you're not really going to go anywhere with this.
As simple as putting in your email address. So this was the stuff that we looked at. And so then we were looking at the Star Connects, and we're like, okay, well, if we build this on Polygon blockchain, there's going to be gas fees. If we build it on Ethereum, gas fees. If we build it on any blockchain, gas fees. So now we're saying we're going to ask consumers when they mint these to have to pay something, meaning they have to go buy crypto to pay the gas fee. No, stop. We have to stop right there.
Yeah, we're going to make our own blockchain. It's not what they're saying. They're still doing it on Polygon. But they're trying to hide the fact this is crypto while it's still crypto because they think they can get around laws this way. It's not going to work. I'm putting this out in full. I want everybody to be able to see this in the future. When this, I mean, it's already failed, let's be honest, but when this eventually goes completely belly up, Alan Friedland's found out as the guy behind it and everything like that, and the truth is found out, glorious.
And think about this, because how are we going to get 2 million subscribers from a YouTube channel to Starstake?
You're not.
As fast as possible, no matter how good the wallets are. And don't even get me started on wallets, because we had to overcome that problem too. So here's where we're like, okay, we have to create this frictionless transition from Web 2 to Web 3. How do we do that? Starts with the wallet, right? Like, you have to have a wallet to be able to get the stuff, to put your stuff in. And that creates great opportunity, but there's also challenges because there's gas fees and signing for transactions. And so we literally had to build our own.
I took the crypto out of crypto. They're literally saying they took the crypto out of crypto, and it's literally only crypto because that's the only way they think this can be legal. Because remember, this is something Chris said on the video directly to me. He said, you cannot, let me see if I can actually find this. You cannot make a agreement. Let's see. .png. I think I have this. Yeah. Do I still have this? No. Okay. I don't have it still. HAWK.jpg. But I had a whole discussion with Chris. I wish I could show you this. See if I can find it in a second. I had a whole discussion with Chris about this, and you know, he literally admitted that, you know, they're doing this in crypto because it's not legal to do this in real money. You can't connect people that are not qualified investors with stars and have them make an investment in them that way. So now we're doing it as a job instead. So, I mean, cool. It's not really what you promised originally, but we'll continue.
Wallet in collaboration with the very first gasless blockchain, because there's no way, most of our assets are on Polygon, which has very low gas fees, which we as a company cover into our financial model. So consumers or creators never have to feel that. But if you think about it, even if at a penny or a fraction of a penny, okay, if we're talking millions.
This soundtrack is still amazing. Chris, please, nopantsprofits@gmail.com. I gotta know how you made this soundtrack because it's glorious. I really need my video soundtrack, my little impromptu video soundtrack, because it's glorious.
The people getting these Star Connect NFTs, like an opt-in or email address. Think about that. That's a lot of money. There's no way the company could survive that. So we said, okay, to do this, we have to put it on a gasless blockchain. We have to develop a wallet that does not have any gas fees at all. Okay, and we don't want people to touch crypto really during any part of this process if possible. Maybe on the exit. Okay.
We don't want people to touch crypto during any part of this process if possible. Let's be very clear what is being said there. They don't want people in crypto at all, which is kind of weird there. I'm not going to lie. That they don't want crypto they don't want people. They don't want people in crypto, which is like one of those really strange things. But I guess that's the thing. I was looking for Chris's message, but I'll go back to that. I want to show this.
And we even have a solution for that. So here we are. We created the solution. Now we have our own wallet. And the cool thing is we put in safeguards like dynamic liquidity, and we put in safeguards like meaning the dynamic liquidity, so people can't sell things and just bottom out the financial system.
Like has happened with all of your other projects in the past, Energy Go, all those, but go on.
Now. And then we also put in safety protocols for the problem that people have with wallets, and they just don't know how these things work, and they end up giving out their seed phrase or pass keys to somebody who says they're there to help them, and all of a sudden they lose money or they lose something stolen. It's not their fault necessarily. It is, but it's not their fault because they're just maybe naive to how these things work. And so how do we protect people from themselves, essentially? And so we created this 2FA or one-time password, this OTP protocol. So whereas actually you get a Starstake, you get this wallet, but you get another wallet that you can't put anything in, and that sole purpose is to generate a password for you anytime something happens.
That's because the people that are currently in this scam are too dumb, and they're getting scammed all the time by giving out their wallet info and everything like that. But I do want to take one step back here because I want to show you an image, which I'm airdropping to myself, where Chris clearly says why this has to be done in crypto. So Chris Hawk Jones, same guy who's on the video right now, or should I say Christopher Richard Jones, has said, why not? I said, why not do this in dollars, cash money? I get behind it, promote it. If you use cash, people need to be qualified accredited investors. Unfortunately, you can't, because you have to use centralized banks, and you can't create an application currency to bridge the gap between artists and fans. You need to use DeFi to create these access points for them. Otherwise, you're a centralized organization, and that's illegal. They've pretty much admitted that they're creating their own blockchain, and they're controlling it from the inside. And what does that make them? A centralized organization. And what does that make all this? I'll let you choose, but the centralized organization, you take a look at it. Centralized organization. And what does that make it? And that is illegal. So, to each their own on what that means, but that's directly from Chris Hawk Jones.
So even if somebody got your main wallet, it's like those key fobs that you used to get from the bank, right? And every time you try to log in, it give you a passcode. It's kind of like Google Authenticator.
Or, sorry, you seem to think your people are too dumb for crypto. Like a crypto ledger right here. Yeah, it's nothing special. It's nothing special. You're using a piece of security software that you probably bought or licensed from somewhere, just like everything else, instead of actually building it. But I digress.
But it's on the blockchain now. And so basically what happens is it generates this passcode that only you can get. So if somebody tried to take your stuff, they couldn't, because you're the only one with that. And the odds of somebody getting both of those is very slim. So we built this whole thing to create something more safe and secure for people, but to also remove all that friction. And this is stuff we didn't realize in the beginning. People are like, oh, you should have figured this out in the beginning. Of course not. Like, we had to go in there.
Of course not, because Alan said everything was all good. Again, Alan Friedland, Google him yourself, Friedland, said it was all good. So, we didn't have to learn any of this. We didn't have to change anything, because Alan said everything was good, up to par, and we just believed him. Well, this guy named No Pants came around. We'll get to No Pants in a minute. This guy named No Pants came around, told us everything we were doing wrong, so we pivoted, and we never launched. And, we think we can get away with anything now, but trust me, we won't, because No Pants is still here for some goddamn reason. We can't get rid of No Pants.
And use it and think about how we're going to acquire people and transition people until we figured that out. And then we said, okay, this problem comes up a little bit. So that was some of the cool stuff that we have that's almost all done. It was
almost all done, which means another few months. Just another few months. It's not like December 2021 we're going to delay again. Not like May 2022. Not like November 2022. December 2022, January 2023, February 2023, March 2023. Hey, look, it's going to come out on April Fool's Day. April 1st, 2023. I promise you.
Put into place. So now Star Connects is this beautiful way for you to create different editions and bring people into the platform for free. They get to experience it for free.
Screwing the original people we promised would get money when people come onto the platform.
It's pretty cool. They get put into the fan engine, so they get points and scores, and they get to see that. And it just
in their job, they're getting ranked in their job, and they're getting paid based on how they do their job.
Adds up, and all of a sudden they can join a brand club, which for free, or they can pay for access if there's perks and things and products. And then that's when they start to see the things really start happening. And we create a cool user interface to kind of flow them through this thing and to let them be part of the process, and for creators to just have fun and to create things and reward in different ways, both through sponsored rewards, which are financial rewards, or access rewards with products. And they can
financial rewards, meaning we're paying them money.
In any time limit, terms, etc. On the fly. It's super cool. Okay, so it's very, very comprehensive now and totally dynamic in how creators want to use this thing. On top of that, we also built an advertising engine. I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah, because your shit hasn't even launched yet. You're lying to people saying you have a product. Now you're making advertising for a product that doesn't exist. Listen to this. Well, this is kind of rich. It's basically an MLM referral service. So when you don't do everything inside of one MLM, you're going to get your change, and you're going to have an MLM that's going to recommend you another MLM, so you can MLM inside of your MLM. Multi-level marketing scheme. Continuing on.
And because we have this thing, these NFT bucks, right? Like this currency that's a visual currency that creators can make.
Currency. I'm sure the CFTC would love to know that Alan Friedland's behind a new currency. Currency.
People use to spend or collect on the platform. But then we're like, okay, what if I wanted to advertise? Like, these are the perfect advertisement, even though it's like a currency, right? Like, it's like pulling out a dollar bill from your wallet and all of a sudden a video playing telling you about a power drill or a new album or a movie trailer or something. Like, that's cool. I just watched the movie trailer. Oh, I spent it, right? But I'm still thinking about the movie trailer. So it's like the perfect tie. So we created ad bucks, and ad bucks is a great way for creators, again, to build their economies and build their brands kind of just on the side without even thinking about it. So whenever, for example, we created a change model. So when you use NFT bucks, it'll actually give you change back. So if you only have $1,000 NFT buck.
Sorry, I didn't realize Chris wasn't there. Let me go back a little bit just so you can kind of hear that.
They get to experience it for free. It's pretty cool. They get put into the fan engine, so they get points and scores, and they get to see that. And it just adds up, and all of a sudden they can join a brand club, which for free, or they can pay for access if there's perks and things and products. And then that's when they start to see the things really start happening. We create a cool user interface to kind of flow them through this thing and to let them be part of the process, and for creators to just have fun and to create things and reward in different ways, both through sponsored rewards, which are financial rewards, or access rewards with products. And they can be in any time limit, terms, etc. On the fly. It's super cool. Okay, so it's very, very comprehensive now and totally dynamic in how creators want to use this thing. On top of that, we also built an advertising engine. I know it sounds crazy.
Yes, it does, but let's continue.
And because we have this thing, these NFT bucks, right? Like this currency that's a visual currency that creators can make that people use to spend or collect on the platform. But then we're like, okay, what if I wanted to advertise. Like, these are the perfect advertisement, even though it's like a currency, right? Like, it's like pulling out a dollar bill from your wallet and all of a sudden a video playing telling you about a power drill or a new album or a movie trailer or something. Like, that's cool. I just watched the movie trailer. Oh, I spent it, right? But I'm still thinking about the movie trailer. So it's like the perfect tie. So we created AdBucks, and AdBucks is a great.
You don't have any stars on your platform yet. Stop it with this shit. You're using this to keep the Ponzi going longer.
Great way for creators, again, to build their economies and build their brands kind of just on the side without even thinking about it. So whenever, for example, we created a change model. So when you use NFT bucks, it'll actually give you change back. So if you only have $1,000 NFT buck and you're buying something for, $100, it'll give you $900 in ad bucks back, and it randomly selects these ad bucks from all the creators on the platform. So you might get a Justin Bieber ad.
So they're implying that Justin Bieber is going to be on board. I want to give you that implication. This is not a picture of him or a drawing of him, which you're understanding. Look, there's a giant picture of Elon Musk right behind Chris right there. But he says this is drawn, it's fine. He's using Justin Bieber by name. He used Flux Capacitor by name earlier. These are actually trying to associate you into thinking that these are going to be the types of things that are on this platform, when it's really just going to be a platform for the people who have already invested way too much money to try and put their own shit on so that they can eventually get back their initial investment, which they never will. Go on.
A Chris Hawk ad buck, a Nike ad buck, you won't know, but that's just free exposure for them, and you can spend those or you can convert those into USDC or whatever you want to do with them. But that's how you got your change. How cool is that? It's like this unknown. It's like this surprise. Every time you spend money on Starstake with bucks, it's like the surprise you get back. So we built that in, and it's also a huge opportunity in the future for advertisers to be able to put and pay to put their ads and their content on bucks themselves, which has a utility, which is super cool. So we built that. We built the change system. We even put in a golden ticket feature, which you could create one ad buck that's like a limited, like it's kind of like the Willy Wonka golden ticket thing. And if one person got that randomly, you could give them like a super duper thing, which is
another thing, Willy Wonka golden ticket, another ad, another brand that you don't have a relationship with that you're putting there.
Just a kind of a cool way of just integrating into the system again. Again, it's all these little details that we built in to create these really dynamic and powerful economies through brand clubs and bucks and Star Connects to bring people into your world and then introduce them to your brand clubs and the access levels, and then let people participate and go from being a connected fan to an active fan to a true fan and eventually maybe a super fan. And with that,
and build up that pyramid.
All kinds of great rewards and perks and opportunities and status and recognition and happiness.
Happiness. Because remember, cults sell emotion. They're not selling money, they're selling emotion, because cults function on emotion. This is a cult, and this is a delay of the cult continuing to push out their newest cult thing.
Usefulness, right? So all of this stuff, I could go on and on and on. We're at like 16, 17 minutes here. But I just wanted to tell you, we are super, super proud and very, very excited to be able to bring this whole thing to you through and through. Not pieces, not a little bit, but everything. Because everything works together. We can't.
Right, we got to keep delaying this until we get it all right. Keep sucking out more money from you, because once this launches and there's no stars on board, you're not going to be on board anymore.
Just launch one thing, because they all have to work together. And that's the challenge, but that's also the great opportunity we have. All right, so I couldn't be more excited. I know some of you are kind of like, I see it in the chat. Please make sure you go to StarHub. Make sure you.
Well, because people that originally invested in this from the energy side have been beating the absolute crap out of Chris on why Starstake hasn't launched yet. And realistically, it's because the main guy, the main architect behind all of this has disappeared, Alan Friedland. So this has fallen down to Chris. And you'll hear Chris mention Alan. If you think, oh, Alan's out of the picture because Alan's not mentioned anymore, he's going to say Alan in a few minutes. But I mean, that's what's really happened here. People are revolting because this is a year and a half late. And everything is a change, and everything is this, and everything is that. Look, I'm telling you on this video right now, they're going to have to collect social security numbers before they actually open with this project, because they're going to have to pay people for doing work. And when you pay people for doing work, they have to be restricted only to the United States, and you have to follow United States employment laws for 1099 contracted employees. But I digress.
comment, post in there, post in the general chat. Just say hi, do something, be active, because that place is going to get crazy when we launch. But just come in there. I would love to chat with you about anything and everything that has to do with Starstake. But I do see some people message me with their frustrations, and I'm like, what do they have to be frustrated about? I mean,
they were promised a return by you and your cronies a long time ago. And that return has come nowhere near fruition. And now they're being told it's going to be another 1 to 2 years before they see any return. The price of energy, the price of all these other things that were meant to have D-apps, and Starstake was the biggest D-app on there. So you can bitch and moan and say these people never paid for it, but they were promised a return. They were promised this was different than other cryptos. They were promised by a guy named Peter Ohanan that, you know, Bitcoin can go down, Ethereum could go down, but energy's never going to go down. Energy only goes up and to the right. That's why these people are pissed off, because people pulled money out along the way. Whether you want to say that was you, whether that was your comrades, whether that was just normal people, you really can't prove it because it's crypto. They're pissed off because they were promised returns, and now they've lost money. They're not only sitting with the even money that they invested, but they're sitting hugely in the hole.
There's nobody more frustrated or inconvenienced rather than myself and our team, the creators, everybody who's been working day and night, who spent their money on this, who spent their time. There's nobody that's feeling that. But outside of that, look, there's no reason that there's been no inconvenience other than maybe some false expectations. So
there's been no inconvenience rather than some false expectations. Oh, good Lord.
I urge all of you out there to just have some patience, have some empathy with the hard work, and understand the kind of opportunity that you're sitting in front of right now. I wish I could transport what's in my brain into your brain so you knew exactly what you were part of.
So you knew what the scam was.
Because some of
I'm transporting what's in his brain to your brain. He's built a DIY MLM scam. Sorry, Chris, I spoiled it. But don't worry, I know you're going to get to me in a minute, because I'm a very important part of what's been going on here.
Things I'm hearing from people, and the frustration and pointing fingers and blaming, and why didn't you should have planned this, and why didn't you hit your deadline, and why? Look, I tried to block all of it out because it's ridiculous a lot of times, but
yeah, it's ridiculous that we didn't hit deadlines. It's ridiculous that you're holding us accountable for things. Why the hell would you hold us accountable for promises that we've made? It is ridiculous. That's just ridiculous for me to say that.
At the same time, I understand that everybody's excited, and I know we haven't hit certain deadlines.
You haven't hit any deadlines, but remember there's going to be a little game that everybody bought NFTs for that were $700,000. Well, minus, you know, the referral fees. So maybe $500,000 you took in, but $700,000 worth of NFTs that we're going to have a game, a Tariq-led sex novel that we're able to go through. Come on, guys. Stop pulling this bullshit. People are done with this. If you're watching this, write a comment below. If you're still falling for this from the inside, I really want to know why you still believe in these people at all.
I apologize for not having closer expectations on that, but I also know this is technology, and if you've built technology, you know that
I have built technology, and I know deadlines, and I know if you don't meet deadlines, you don't get money. You don't get paid. Stop it with the excuses. This is technology. This is new technology. I've developed apps. I've developed all this before. You have freaking deadlines. You've missed your deadline now by over a year and a half. We'll continue.
You have to go through these iterations, especially when you're creating something from scratch, from the beginning. You don't know if something's going to work, and you don't just launch something and say, oh, I hope it works. I hope that we can fix it, because no, you lose trust.
But that's exactly what you did with your dynamic liquidity pool, which you say is not part of this, but the same developers are working on Starstake, and Alan Friedland's behind all this. In NRGY, on your Polygon side, you've created a product to allow people to get out that was an absolute shit show. Absolute shit show. But, you know, we're talking about Starstake now. I'm sure there's not the same developers behind both projects. And I said developers, it's developer.
And when we're talking about working with other brands, look, if it's just our brand, we could probably stomach that. But if we're working with other people's reputations and brands and images, we can't risk theirs. So we have to make sure it's stable and we get it right. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but we have to get it right. You know, we're fortunate. We're not launching rockets into the atmosphere.
Yeah, because you'd be a year and a half late there, Mr. Chris.
And we don't have to have a 100% pass rate here. We can get by with 90%, but we have to hit 90%. Okay, so please, I just urge you to have some patience. Ask,
People have had patience for a year and a half, dumbass.
for your help, and just give your support to the team. They work really hard. Maria and Tarek and Cap and
Who I think those three people do work very hard. They issue press releases all the time, and because nobody's going to actually write a story about this scam, so they're using press release services to try and get on Yahoo and stuff like that. All these stories you're seeing are paid for and placed stories by press release services. No one's ever written a story on them. The only person that's ever covered Starstake outside of the Starstake investors and the Starstake people is this guy right here, and I've told you the truth about it. I've not covered it in the greenest or prettiest of light, and there's a reason why, because it's a scam.
myself and Ellen and all the people that are involved.
And Alan, remember, Alan Friedland, and I want to make sure that any brand who were to get involved with Starstake knows exactly who Alan Friedland is.
Cap and myself and Ellen and all the people that are involved that are contributing to this project. I just want to thank you all, for those of you that are watching this, and thank you for the supporters that are out there. You guys mean everything to us. We can't wait for this to get in your hands. I just seriously cannot wait for you to get your hands on this thing, because I want to see what you create and what you do with it. And there's going to be an immense opportunity for those of you that aren't creators to be able to go out there and be super.
Well, because they're assuming that everyone here is a creator, because they have no creators. They have no stars. You notice they've changed from stars to creators. Just saying.
Fans for the things that you care about. And trust me, we're going to have our own brand club too, and we're going to have our own stuff. We're going to use the product we built ourselves.
Of course, you got to use your MLM building product to build your MLM inside of your MLM building product. I mean, I wouldn't expect you not to use your MLM building product and sell your MLM building product to other MLMs, because that's the best thing. You put an MLM inside your MLM.
So you'll be able to support that if you want. But it's just, we appreciate you, but have some patience. Be grateful that you know about this before the rest of the world, because you're going to look back, some of you that are kind of griping and complaining.
Yeah, we're going to look back. Yeah, bullshit. I guarantee you this will never be successful.
And you're going to be like, oh man, I must have sounded ridiculous back then. Because imagine if you would have said those things back when Facebook, before they started, or before.
Promising of returns. The SEC doesn't like this, no matter whether you want to call it a security or not, and whether your lawyers are saying it. You're comparing it to other companies that you just can't compare it to.
Or look, Facebook wasn't much when they launched. Nobody thought it was going to be what it is. And I'm sure a lot of people, and there's a lot of haters that don't think.
Oh, haters. Here's your special section on Mr. No Pants Profits. Go ahead, Senor Chris. Talk about me.
We're going to be anything, and that's okay. That drives us. That motivates us. You think I'm bothered by bloggers or YouTubers that doubt us?
Well, I mean, the fact that you're mentioning me, yeah, I do. I do think you're bothered by me. You wouldn't be mentioning me. I'm living rent-free in your head. Of course you're bothered by me. Come on, dumbass.
Or complain or try to pick us apart before they even know what they're talking about. It's ridiculous.
I know exactly what I'm talking about. I understand exactly what you're building. I'm not stupid.
It's almost humorous. We have jokes in the office that go around about it because it's so ridiculous. And look, everybody.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I know. They did a great job talking about you don't need pants to invest in Starstake, because I don't wear pants. That was funny, Chris. I give that to you. But again, you've produced nothing so far other than hot air and bullshit. The main website you have still has a copyright date of 2021 on the bottom. It's the same trash that Alan Friedland built back in the day. I understand that you might have wireframes and other things for other stuff, but guess what? Nothing's released yet. So all of my bitching and moaning is correct.
Us haters, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't. And look, I appreciate them because I appreciate their critique. Sometimes it does open our eyes to things.
Yeah, that's the whole pivot actually came from me. The whole pivot of it's no longer a security came from me, came from what I was complaining about, and they finally got some lawyers and stopped trusting what Alan Friedland said and realized, oh shit, the way we're doing it is security. Here's the problem. You can't change the past. Even if you're going up and up in the future, what you did in the past is illegal, and the past is going to come back and bite you in the ass when your investors don't make any money.
Saying, oh, we didn't look at it that way, or maybe we didn't account for that, or whatever. And that's great. Look, I can be grateful to it, but I don't like the hate, and I don't like attacking my wife.
Never attacked your wife. I said her real name. Her name is not Shang Belmonte, it's Michelle Belmonte. I found that online. I've actually said very complimentary things about your wife. I think she's the best part of this whole project. That's it. I know that she came to the U.S. to become a bigger star in the U.S., and Starstake was part of her ticket to stardom. You've admitted so much on streams before. But I said her name was Michelle Belmonte. Cool.
I don't like attacking people personally. It's not necessary, right? Like, be a human.
I am a human. You be a human and provide returns to your investors.
Like, root for the team that's looking to try to do something good, isn't that?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Bitcoin. Because if scammers like you are out there and you're scamming people, then Bitcoin's not going to succeed, because Bitcoin is the real crypto. It's the one crypto. It's a real blockchain. It's got no scams really behind it. Yeah, people use it as scam money, use it to buy things that could be scammy, but it's not a scam. Your currency is nothing but a scam.
Make you feel better to root for the team that's doing that instead of judging or pointing fingers. And that's, look, we're
No. I like to judge and point fingers.
always going to have haters. I'm not worried about it, because judge us on what we produce, on the things.
You've produced nothing. I'll judge you when you actually produce something. Right now, you have a website that has a copyright date of 2021 on the bottom of it. I am judging you on what you've produced. You've produced horse shit. I'm calling you horse shit.
We create, and that I'm 99.9% sure that we will prove a lot of people wrong.
I am 99.9% sure that I will prove that I was right all along and this was a scam. So the problem is the math don't add up, because that's like 199.9999999%. That's not how math works. So someone's got to be wrong here, and it's not me.
And more than that, it's just for us to feel good and say, hey, we did this. We created this thing from an idea to concept to creation to a product. And
again, feelings before facts and numbers and everything like that. The cult. That's why you keep hearing all this feelings bullshit, because it is a cult.
we're almost there. We are so close.
We're almost there, but we're not going to give you a date, because it's not going to be April. It's not going to be May. Maybe July. Somewhere around there. 2023.
We just got approved for a new processor for credit card processing. So now anybody internationally around the world will be able to purchase on our platform using a credit or debit card or EC.
And I really hope you're going to issue international tax forms to all these other countries, because you have to, because now people are doing work online. And once they get above a certain threshold of getting paid for doing work online, you have to issue tax forms in all the different countries they're in. You have to collect tax information. You have to do all that. You don't believe me? Ask your lawyers. It's true.
Which is amazing. There's no crypto reliance whatsoever. Thank goodness.
But you can't, this isn't legal if you don't involve crypto. There's no crypto reliance whatsoever. I want to bring up, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but if there's no crypto reliance whatsoever, legally you can't, unless you make sure, he goes, you need to use DeFi to create access points. Otherwise, you're a centralized organization, and that's illegal. But there's no crypto reliance whatsoever. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Chris. I don't know who Edith is, but you can't have your cake and eat it too.
And that has been very difficult. It's a new industry, so it's taken a lot for us as a new company to build trust with these banks and these companies to be able to process for us. But we're super excited about it. Okay, so lots of great things. I could go on and on and on, but this is all.
But you got nothing.
I have for you for now. We will have demos. We will have new videos. I hope you like the new videos that we've been releasing. Tark's been doing awesome on that. Our team just in general has just been stellar. I mean, outstanding. Everybody is doing above and beyond what they've even been asked to do. And especially with all these changes, the development team, how hard it must be for them to be able to build something that's changing as much as this has changed. So my hat goes off to them. They're doing a wonderful job, always positive, always great attitude, never complaining. That's the kind of team that here. That's the kind of
Unlike your actual investors who are always complaining, because guess what? You never deliver what you say you're going to. You never deliver what you say you're going to.
culture that we built here. And I really look forward to all of you watching this, hopefully rooting for us, and then being able to get in there and use it and give us improvement suggestions and things like that. We value you a lot. So with that, this is Chris. That's all I got. 23 minutes and a half. Lots more to come. I don't know why I leave these things to these long videos, but super excited.
Because you wait for the pot to boil over and then you answer for all your failures. Let's say that again. You leave them because you wait for the pot to boil over and then you have to answer for all your failures. Because you wait for the pot to boil over and you have to answer for all your failures. Okay.
Couldn't be more excited, and more to come. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So, I provide that to you for your personal viewing pleasure or pain, regardless of how you want to look at it. And I provide that because I want you to see this. I want you to see what they're providing and the lies they're telling and everything like that. It's all about feelings. There's no facts. It's all about emotions. It's all about stretching the lies. And what this did is it bought them another month with a lot of their investors. There's a couple that are going to object to this, but they just bought another month with this video. And I'm just going to label this Starstake delays its MLM platform yet again as the Ponzi goes on. Because that's what this is. It's a Ponzi scheme. There's never been a product. There's never going to be a product. And trust me, some t-shirts that say Starstaker are not a product. And some cookies made by some community members that say Starstake are not a product. It's a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme. MLM. You got any questions? Leave them down in the comments below. My name's Richard. I'm from No Pants Profits. And I'm reminding you that when you wear no pants, just like me, you can make a joke all you want. When you wear no pants like me, there's only one thing you got left to lose. You know what that is? It's your shirt. Have a great one. Got any questions? Leave them in the comments below or shoot me an email. NoPantsProfits@gmail.com. Have a great one. Bye.